Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Down South Salvation Podcast. You might notice that things are a little bit different now. We have a new platform that we're using. We're also doing video now, which is way out of the norm for the last 40 something episodes. But, you know, as you do more stuff, you tend to change things up once in a while. In addition, I know we've been kind of deep diving some theological thoughts on the What Is series of interviews I've been doing, but we're going to take a break from that this time. And we're going back to the good old Psalms and Soundwaves series. And I've got Paul from Small Step Records here to kind of tell us about Small Step Records and Indie Vision Music and kind of everything that's led up to that and what they've got going on. But before we jump into all that, I want to open us with a prayer for church, musicians, and artists, and frankly, just anyone who makes music for God. O God, whom saints and angels delight to worship in heaven, be ever present with your servants who seek through art and music to perfect the praises offered by your people on earth, and grant to them even now glimpses of your beauty, and make them worthy at length to behold it unveiled forevermore, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. All right, Paul. As I always say, the best place to start is the beginning. So, why don't you kind of walk us through what all led up to you and Small Step Records kind of being where you're at now?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. Thanks for having me. Um, yeah, man, the beginning. Well, I got to start with a few of these bands that started with Indie Vision Music. So Brandon Jones, founder of Indie Vision Music, been following that website and what he's been doing for 20 years. And Brandon of Indie Vision Music basically made a label. He was releasing some really nice like pop punk music that I had, grown up on with the Tooth and Nail scene, and so really gravitated to Indie Vision Music. And he actually helped my band at the time, Grandpa Loves Rhinos, put out some of our albums. And so I just appreciated so much his work that he did for us. Just kind of a small band that we had full-time jobs and kids and stuff, and just getting our music out to people that might like it. And so when that Indie Vision Music had to kind of stop doing their label, it was kind of a bunch of us bands, including Like the Way and Home Plate, that we kind of were all on that label, and we were like, where do we go from here? And we kind of collectively thought that, hey, we should kind of create our own label of sorts. And I had kind of been thinking about this for a while, and so I really just was like, hey, I want to do this. I want a place for this type of music to be found, because I couldn't really find it that much anywhere except for Indie Vision Music. So we kind of came together, and I really just took it, and I had the guys from the other bands kind of help. We kind of helped name it. We helped kind of get the model of how it would work. So a lot of input from a lot of different people, and then I just kind of like decided, yep, I'm going to start this thing. We're gonna start up a website and have our first release be the Home Plate EP that they put out, Welcome to Brightenstein. And so that's kind of what kicked it off. And then since then, we've just grown, and it's been a really enjoyable experience. As something that is just kind of a passion for me. So I have a full-time job, this is not my full-time work, but it's just been kind of a hobby, and we've made connections, and we've grown, and we're just expanding our reach from there. So it's been really fun few years. We started in 2021, so we've been kind of doing this for about 4 years.
I got you. So, trying to think. So, what is your niche specifically within the music industry?
Well, I like to say it's faith-based pop punk. Growing up on Tooth and Nail, like in the mid 2000s, early 2000s. That's the style of music that I really liked. And as years went by, Tooth and Nail kind of changed their focus with the bands they were signing, and so I just love it's kind of a pop, I say pop punk, a little bit of skate punk, um, some of that kind of emo punk, ska, and then some of that easy core where you get the pop punk with some breakdowns and maybe a little screaming in there, into that post hardcore kind of flavor. So that style, and then we say faith based because that's important to me. That not necessarily that the lyrics have to be overtly Christian in nature, but that the people that are creating this music are Christians. They have that faith, they have that worldview, they see things from that perspective, and they're writing about life and experiences and God, in kind of whatever art form they want to, and creating this music. So that's kind of the niche music community that we're built around. That hopefully that answers what you're asking.
Yeah, it does. It does. Have y'all seen a good audience growth, good reception to the bands that are on the label, or
Yeah,
have you?
I don't know. It's hard to get out there and get the music to people that I think would like it. I think there's a lot more people out there that would like what we're doing and just haven't seen us or heard about the label yet. Um, but yeah, there has been really some great stories of people discovering these bands through the label, and it's vice versa too. If the bands had some fans, and then they join the label, um, now they know about our label and they can then discover some of the other bands. So I think the um, feedback has been pretty good. There's a lot of good feedback. Some of our bands had audio feed this last year. It was really fun partnering with them and getting some artists at that festival, and we had some really good feedback with the bands that played there. So that was good.
I got you. I got you. So, trying to think of how to ask this next question. What? So obviously you listed indie vision music as probably a big contributing factor to the record label getting started. Is there any other labels specific? And Tooth and Nail, I mean, I know you just said Tooth and Nail because that's what you grew up on. I mean, I'm not quite sure how old you are. You're probably a little bit older than I am. But as you can see, I got the yellow card shirt on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so were there any other bands or like any other labels specifically that kind of inspired you to really start doing all this?
Um, Not specifically, I guess, starting the label. Um, Let me think.
Or I mean, it could be wanting to play music or even get into music at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely you know I was in high school in the early 2000s, so yeah, I loved just all the pop punk that was coming out. Yellow Card, um, MXPX and Blink 182 and Fall Out Boy and that whole scene. I just couldn't get enough of it. Just discovering all these different bands, whether it be from Drive Through, or Fueled by Raymond or whatever it was, going to Warped Tours and stuff. But around um, 2007, I think it was, maybe 2008. I just dove I was like, hey, I'm just gonna kind of listen to Christian bands, and just because I was like, I consume so much of this music that I feel like I need to kind of cut out some of the other not as uplifting stuff. So Tooth and Nail was kind of the main source. Of course, you got all the other labels that like Reliant K and Fiber and Frenzy were on, like Goatee and that kind of stuff. But um, I never really thought that our label would look like other labels. We kind of modeled it out of a nonprofit, which we are an official nonprofit organization, 501c3. So it just that kind of model lined up with more with what I wanted to do, rather than just kind of be a normal um, record label that kind of takes the artist's music and um, distributes it and does that. So I was like, I want for these bands to keep all the rights to their music. I want them to kind of be almost like a collective of independent artists that we can help promote each other. And so there wasn't really necessarily like any label that was like, I want to be like that label. It was kind of I love music so much, and I want to just be that person to like advocate and promote and just help any way I can for these bands that I just think need a place and need a home. So that's kind of how that idea came about.
I got you. So what band would you say got you into like pop punk when you were younger?
I mean, I think of course it was Blink-182. Listen to the radio, listen to a lot of the pop stuff, like, in the probably the late '90s, early 2000s, like Third Eye Blind and Goo Goo Dolls and Smash Mouth. But then when I heard Blink-182, it was just like this really exciting, just fun sound. And so yeah, I would say once I heard of Blink-182, then the whole world opened up. And then yeah, like Reliant K was another huge one that just had everything. It had fun. The vibe was so fun. The lyrics were so like meaningful, but also just witty and clever. And it kind of gave me that like this is good. This is good music. I want more of this. So
I got you. I know when I was younger. So the first time I got interested in music, I was about, and I just to clarify, I cannot play an instrument to save my life. So when I first started like really starting to define what my music taste was, I obviously did not have a CD collection or anything. But my dad was a child of like the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
So he had all these old, like the old school thrash metal and like for example, Metallica, Judas Priest. I don't think he had any Slayer. I think that was not really his vibe. But he had like just a lot of old rock music just in general. And so that's what I originally cut my musical teeth on as far as listening to it. And then one day in middle school, I was like 11 years old, I discovered this cool website called YouTube.
Yeah.
Because up until I was in middle school, really internet access was not really a thing for me. It just wasn't really an option.
Mm-hmm.
Such as growing up in the rural South, you just kind of, well, at least back then, you just kind of either you had internet or you just didn't have internet at all. There's not really a lot of public Wi-Fi or anything back in, I think 11 years old, back in 2007. And if there was public Wi-Fi, you probably didn't have a smartphone.
Yeah.
Especially in middle school.
Yeah.
Oh man, those were the days. But I found YouTube and I discovered this band called My Chemical Romance.
Mm.
And well, let's just say my life was never the same after that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But so did you ever listen to any of like the third wave emo, like the Midwest emo? Was that ever in your
I don't think so. You might have to name a few bands.
Give me a second. Texas is the Reason. Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh yeah.
That's the ones off the top of my head.
Okay. I do like the sound. I don't think I really dove in like I did with the pop punk. But if I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I like this. This sounds good. But it wasn't like something that really formed my early days of a teenager. But yeah, I definitely enjoy that stuff, and I still I think it sounds really fun to
I
listen
got
to.
you.
Yeah.
I got you. So, getting back to the label, since we were talking about old CD collections and
Oh,
whatnot, I'm assuming distribution for y'all's fairly digital at this point. There's not really a lot of physical media for y'all.
um, somewhat. So I'd say I definitely let the artists handle their own digital distribution, because I mean a lot of people can do that with, you know, DistroKid or TuneCore or
Right.
CD, whatever. But I do enjoy CDs. Like CDs were what I used when I was getting into music. I think there's still a lot of people out there that do enjoy the physical merchandise. So yeah, if it's an EP or an album, we'll make sure to do that on CD in some form. And then um, Light the Way, we've just started, and they've been tackling this effort with the vinyl. So they've put basically both their um, latest full lengths out on vinyl, and that again has been mostly them, and I've just kind of helped out a little bit with some, just helping them at where I can. But that's a lot on the band. I like to do
Yeah.
more. I like to do more of that because I know kind of vinyl is one of those. Um, it's just it's got a kind of a niche customer base, and so hopefully as we build this out and there's more, financial support from us, we can help band continue to do that more.
I got you. So that's a good jumping point right there, which you just said at the end. So in a world where you can pretty much be a fully independent artist and pretty much do it, you can almost make it without a record label at this point. The way
Yeah.
technology is, what is the added value for being on a record label, specifically your record label?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say for specifically ours, I again, like, I don't think I would say this for any record label, because a lot of record labels, it's kind of almost like a loan. Like they'll provide that money
Right.
for recording, and then and those music rights kind of come over. But as far as Small Step is concerned, like, yeah, you're right. Like a lot of independent artists can do all this stuff on their own. So what I want our label to be is first a community, where we're supporting each other. I mean, when I was in a band, I feel like the the number one thing that I enjoyed most was having someone else that wasn't my family or close friend. It was someone else that was advocating for my music, that enjoyed it, that listened to it, that really liked it, and then they were like actually putting time and money into helping our band, and that was huge. And that's what Brandon did with Indie Vision Music. So I was like, I want to be that for other people as well. I want to be able to be like, hey, I love what you made, and I'm going to spend my resources and time to help you guys, um, share your art that you made with other people, and I'm going to try to create this community around that idea and this style of music, so that we can bring in more people that I know there's people out there that want to listen to this music. um, so that's kind of the first thing, is basically a community around that. And then the second thing is, and I tell this to all my artists, like, um, this label is just basically another person on your team. So we're kind of doing this on our own independently, but I'm just going to be a part of your team to help you guys with whatever you want to do. um, they keep all the creative control, and we collaborate on different things. And so I do think that um, our model is at least worked for so far, and I hope it just continues to grow. That we can help them get connected with graphic designers, or we can help them. Hey, if you need a little extra money for mixing or mastering costs or something, or hey, we'll distribute CDs on your behalf, and I'll make sure you guys have copies for your shows, or hey, we'll get you some spots at a festival, or having a booth. We did a booth at Furnace Fest, not this year but last year. That was really fun, just getting out there with people and saying, hey, we exist. There's these bands that exist. And it's just a really good way to basically advocate for the artists. So I think it's like, low risk, and some fun along the way.
Yeah, sounds like it. So, how do y'all typically find new bands? Do they typically come to y'all, or do y'all typically go to them?
It's a mix. That's a good question. I early on, I think I was kind of finding bands that I was enjoying and kind of reaching out to them and saying, hey, if you guys put out music, I want to help you out. There's been a few that we found through. We do kind of like a yearly compilation CD where just like, hey, I want 20 tracks. We're going to put on a compilation. We're going to put it on CD as well. And we found a few bands through that, like Humble Kings, for example, is one of those that submitted a song. I was like, wow, I really, really like this. Got to talk with the guys and like, yeah, I think you guys would be a good fit. And then, yeah, and then, we do get a lot of submissions and things from just random, just everywhere across the country. And sometimes it's not even pop punk stuff. So I'm just like, sorry, this is kind of what we're focusing on. And this is what I like. And pretty much right now it's just me and have another guy, his name's Jeremy, that is helping out a lot with the label. But it kind of started with me just, hey, if I like this band and I want to listen to it, then I'm going to, want to promote it. And if not, if I'm not going to, even if it's great, if I'm not going to listen to it, then sorry, this label isn't for you because it's kind of a small operation right now.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So what do you feel like the biggest challenge the label has faced so far has been?
Biggest challenge. So I'd say probably like two different things. The one thing is just time. I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to it, which I'd like to do more just because, full-time job, family. So I squeeze it in, but I guess there is a vision of where I want to take it, and I just can't do that right now. And it's even hard for me to like kind of piece it together in my mind of how I would want it to go and get people to come in and help, because it just feels like a lot of work that I just don't have the capacity for. But I feel like we're kind of slowly growing and slowly getting there and expanding. So I'm not I guess I'm not like discouraged. This is the pace that we can go right now, and it's good while it is. So the other thing is just funding. We trying to generate funds is the other challenge, because I definitely want to be in a place where this label can support bands financially, like without having it to be a loan or anything. Just like this is your money that you're given to work on your music, and then we're gonna help you get this music out. So I just hope and want to work towards getting more funds coming in, whether that be from just selling label merch or compilations, or having people donate money if they want to donate as like a ministry. We're supporting faith-based music, so trying to get people to donate if they can, and then of course as a nonprofit, all that money is then going to the artists in various different challenges of time and money.
I got you. So I'm assuming y'all's marketing and distribution strategy has a lot of social media in it, because obviously this is the social media age.
Yeah.
So what does that kind of look like for y'all?
Yeah, it is. It's just a lot of time pushing social media content.
Are y'all mostly? I'm assuming y'all probably don't do a lot on Facebook, because Facebook's kind of, I hate to say it, Facebook's kind of old now.
It is, and it doesn't. It's the worst at like showing it to people that like the page. It's like you put something out and it shows it to 20 people when you've got 1,000 people following your page. So um, I, I mainly we're mainly on Instagram, which kind of pushes it to Facebook anyway. Um, but yeah, again, that's another area where I wish I could spend more time, or would like to spend more time. Also, I would not like to spend more time because it's not fun being on social media all the time. Uh, and yeah, it is social media heavy. And what I did really enjoy was getting out to different festivals and stuff. Like I said, we had a booth at Furnace Fest, and then we had a booth at Audio Feed, which I think those are kind of more the places that I want to be um, out in and marketing there, because those are the people that are going to support our artists. Like those are the people that are going out to festivals and buying merch and that like this style of music. So those are the places I want to get out more to.
I don't know, man. I mean, it could be kind of cool to go evangelizing at Warp Tour, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever Warp Tour is supposed to be now at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
I know they brought it back, but it just doesn't seem like it's the same.
Same. Yeah, no, I did submit funny enough for Warp Tour, but they didn't let me.
Uh, I see. Well, I wish I could say I was surprised, but
Yeah, it's like, oh, all right. It's
yeah. So something I like to ask people in the music industry when I have them on: What is your thought? What are your thoughts on AI and how that's impacted?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I haven't thought about it too much, but I I definitely think AI is. I mean, it's inevitable, and I think it's a fun tool for people to create things that they wouldn't normally be able to create. I don't think it's very fun when people are putting those creations out for other people to consume and saying they made it. That's where, you know, a lot of people have an issue. I have an issue with that, saying, "Hey, I made this stuff, and it really wasn't you that made it." Um, and I mean, if you want to, and I do this myself too. I use AI to create things, um, stories or album art or something. But I don't necessarily like to use that for putting it out and saying, this is a thing we created and I'm now. So hopefully that was clear. Uh,
No, that's pretty clear. I mean, that's pretty much what most people kind of say, and I can kind of understand it too. I mean, I do use AI for some small things. Like for instance, if I need an outline for something, I might crack it into AI real quick and let it spit out an outline and then
right.
tweak it. But I'm not using AI to try and make full on like albums either. So I mean, it's I can see where especially in the music industry where it would be really problematic. I mean, it's been very problematic on YouTube because there are people. It's gotten to the point now where you're actually able to fake people's actual voices.
Yeah.
And that's really bad because then you can just make them say whatever you want them to say.
Yeah.
And that's no bueno.
Yeah. It's gonna
Yeah.
be. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to soon. You're not gonna be able to tell what's not real and real.
Oh yeah, it's for sure. It's going to be not good. So my final like super serious question for you is looking. Let's look 5 years into the future. Where do you want Small Step Records to be?
Yeah, that's great. I want so, man, if and this is something that I like haven't really said out loud, but it's like stuff that's going over my mind of what I want it to look like in 5 years. Definitely want to have more people on the team. Like Jeremy, he jumped on. He was like, I want to help out as much as I can. He's been huge. He was there at Audio Feed with us. He orchestrated a lot of that. So in 5 years, I definitely want more people that I can trust on our team. Um, whether that be like social media or um, fundraising or who. There's a lot of things that I think a lot of people can help with. Um, And in turn, that basically will help um, our ability to support artists in just a higher capacity. So I want to be able to like provide financial support for recording, um, mixing and producing and all that stuff. Because a lot of times right now, I mean, the bands are doing this DIY. They're using their own resources, or we're using connections. So I want to continue all that, but I also just want to be able to um, kind of provide financially a lot more than I am now. And yeah, just kind of our vision is to be a place for faith-based punk, and pop punk, and ska. And I just want people that when they hear like, "Hey, I'm looking for a Christian pop punk band," they go, "You should check out Small Step Records." Like that's what I want, because I think I was looking for that, and I'm like, I think there's more people that are wanting that, and I wanted to have a place for that. So hopefully that continue. Yeah, and we're definitely growing our connections, and who knows where that will go in the next 5 years, but I think it's just gonna get bigger, and our artists will be supported a little bit more each year.
I got you. All right. Now it's time for my not so serious question that I've seen floating around social media.
All
My
right.
social media is weird. Your top 5 pop punk albums. Go.
Oh man. So man, of like all time, or is there anything?
Yeah. No, just of all time.
All time?
Christian, secular, doesn't matter.
Because I definitely I have like I like to categorize things. So like if I have my probably my top 10 albums of all time, but they're all different genres in there. They do like a little bit of exclusive. So okay, let me think. Pop punk albums of all time. Okay. Okay. Um, Sorry, I'm making sure I don't miss anything. Man, it's hard. I got my top three for sure. Um, Reliant K. Mm-hmm. That would be my top.
Gotcha.
Then The Wedding. Polarity is the album by The Wedding.
Okay.
I actually gotta put Yellow Card in there. Ocean Avenue.
Fantastic choice.
That one blew my mind when that came out. I'll probably put Newfound Glory, they're self-titled, as a fourth. And then, gosh, the fifth one is tough. Can I might break the rules a little bit. I'm gonna put a ska band on there.
Okay.
Even though it's not pop punk, but man, I'm gonna pick a Fire and Frenzy album, but they've got a lot of good ones. I'm probably gonna go with All the Hype.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's only fair that I name my top 5 since I made you name your top 5.
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So coming in at number 1 is in fact Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card, because they are the band that I most credit, and that album specifically that I most credit with making me actually really be interested in pop punk. Not that I wasn't not interested in it.
Yeah.
But when I heard Ocean Avenue, the song Ocean Avenue, something just clicked for me. And it was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is about to be This is going to define my personality for as long as I breathe. Here we go.
And I love how, like, I don't know, that album was super positive too. Just like, a lot of the other stuff coming around at the same time, a little bit of, breakups and girlfriends and stuff. And I don't know, that album for some reason was just super positive, and like it had almost a hopeful like feeling about it. So yeah, definitely agree on that album.
Number 2 is Letters to the President by Hop Nelson.
Yeah.
Got to include them. Oh gosh, what is that Anne Berlin album?
Never Take Friendship Personal, or
that one. Thank you.
Yeah. Blueprints, yes. Black Market.
It's never Take Friendship Personal.
Yeah, that's a top one too. That one's going to be up there.
Before Everything and After by MXPX. And Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182, because that's just a classic. You can't, like, even if it's not in your top 5, it's got to at least be in your top 10. I mean, it's Blink-182 is probably one of those genre-defining bands that, like, people didn't take seriously at the beginning, but
yeah,
you can't get away from them. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was all the questions I had. Do you have any questions for me?
What are your thoughts on? Do you like Under Oath?
Oh, mixed opinions.
Yeah.
So I don't hate Under Oath. I don't necessarily like the personal direction that they've taken.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be some heated opinions in the comment section. I'm almost positive. Their early stuff is for sure, but there's definitely been a shift, and it's kind of the same with like Emery, for example. But like they're kind of in the same boat as Under Oath now. They're as much as it pains me to say, their early stuff was definitely good. And there's some songs and stuff from their new albums that are okay, but like you can tell the direction has definitely just changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely I think I agree with that. And just even just on a sound, maybe not even like I know they've got all their spiritual journeys have changed a little bit over time. Everyone's does, but just the sound definitely evolved, and I'm happy for them, and they continue to have some success with their band. But definitely love the old stuff, and I just saw Under Oath, like they came out here to Hawaii, and it was just amazing because they're doing the 20-year anniversary of their and it was just it was amazing.
Man, you didn't have to bring that up because now I feel old.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like I'm almost 40, and I'm like showing. I listen to all this music, and my kids start listening to it. I'm like, I don't think I would have listened to my parents like old music, but to me, it's just it's my music that I love.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I got another question. It's kind of music related as far as like, what are your thoughts on like, a Christian band versus Christians in a band, or does that even?
I've had some good conversations with different people in the churches I've attended about this. I'm ambivalent towards it because, like, for example, 21 Pilots themselves would probably describe themselves as Christians in a band.
Yeah.
But when you really look at their lyrics and you actually listen to what they're singing about, there's a lot of fairly overt theological themes in their lyrics, especially on their early stuff. Like, the song Taxi Cab. just read the lyrics. Like it's very clearly like that's a deep theological song, and most people probably don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And my opinion on it, I guess, is because I've heard both sides of this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
is that if you're doing something, even if it's maybe a little bit more, I guess the word would be subversive or low key, to um, make people think deeper, think beyond, what what's right in front of them or what they've always, had in their lives. I think that's better than just being. I'm trying to think how to say this. This is coming out really awkward. Um, if anything, even if it's not overtly like Christian, like, hey, we're singing about the actual literal Trinity and the risen Christ.
Yeah.
I think it's more beneficial overall, if they're a little bit more explicit about it. But even if it's just implicit, even if it's just low key and it makes people get to thinking and get to reading stuff and get to looking at stuff that they wouldn't have otherwise looked at, and maybe even changes their perspective on some things, then I think that's still a better outcome than people staying stagnant where they're at.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying to take a very nuanced position because I do like a lot of different bands, and a lot of my music's actually secular. And that's another thing is secular. Do you listen to secular music? Should you do it? Should you not? And I think the appropriate Christian answer is, well, it depends on what band we're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think that's one of those Christian liberty questions, and I think there's more nuance to it, but also I think people need to be able to, really sit down and think about the bands critically and be like, okay, well, is this band explicitly anti-Christ?
Yeah.
That would be the first question. If the answer is yes, well, then obviously you shouldn't listen to that. I mean, duh.
Yeah.
But the second thing is, obviously, that in that situation, if once you answer the first question, then you kind of have to start looking at some of the lyrics of their songs and go, okay,
yeah,
is it just these particular songs that are more worldly and like some of the other ones? Because there are some songs that are just like talking about going to hang out with your buddies and have a good time.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I don't see an issue, right? Or like Blink-182 is really good about this one, is singing about some random awkward situations that they find themselves in.
Yeah.
Again, I don't see the issue. I think Blink-182 probably has some songs that I would say maybe you shouldn't listen to because they are a little bit on the edgier side of things sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially once again, their earlier stuff, where they're just like experimenting and all over the place, and so that's kind of where I'm at on the issue. And when we do have kids and they start listening to music, I don't know. Well, first off, I don't know what the state of music's going to look like at the point that we have kids. Hopefully, it will be improved from whatever it was that the 2020s were doing. Because, dude, I like.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I do consider myself I do enjoy new music and discover new music, but there hasn't been a lot, I guess, in the.
Well, I'll tell you what I've been getting into is Christian, I guess you'd call it metalcore.
Yeah.
I want to call it that, like Sleeping Giant, Demon Hunter, things like that. And Christian folk music. Like Americana type music. It's actually a really good like underground scene for that specifically.
Nice.
Because a lot of those artists are typically independent.
Yeah. Oh, I never knew. I knew the like metalcore scene is I feel like it's bigger than it's ever been, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm on the Kingdom Core like
Yeah,
Instagram chat where they drop all the new stuff all the time.
yeah,
Dude, it's popping off like every
yeah,
day.
yeah,
And funnily enough, I didn't even really I could see when I was in high school, me and my friends, we all so I was like the only pop punk emo kid.
yeah,
Uh, everybody else kind of listened to like Slipknot and Slayer and
yeah,
Disturbed, and
yeah,
I mean that was all right, whatever. I mean, I certainly listened to like some Ask and Alexandria and stuff like that. That was part of my rotation back in the day. But like, I found Demon Hunter one day. I was like, this slaps. I need more of this. And the next thing you know, I found Kingdom Core, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
here we go. This is it.
yeah. No,
But
it's that stuff is it's there's so many good bands out there, and I love the sound of that, and that was kind of just going back to like why I kind of went the pop punk route with our labels, because I was like, there's so many good labels out there, Solid State and Face Down,
right,
there and there's just so many
I
good bands there that
I wish there was a band or not a band, a label for like the folk Americana type deal, kind of like the Noah Khan sound, but Christian.
yeah,
Um, I don't think there is, but maybe there is. It basically, I'll listen to anything except CCM.
yeah,
Like, nothing against any of the CCM artists, because there is some old schools. There's some old CCM stuff that I do like. I like DC Talk, for instance. I do like
yeah,
DC Talk, but DC
yeah,
Talk is like a world apart from whatever in the world Hillsong is putting out nowadays.
mhm,
you know,
yeah,
which aside from like Bethel and Elevation and Hillsong and some of the more
mhm,
theological concerns that some people do have with
yeah,
those, which I
yeah,
share some of those concerns, but it's just all the same stuff.
yeah. It's the music is not as interesting.
No, like they're using like the same three chords. Can we
Mhm.
please?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I better stop before I get complaining and like actually strike a nerve with somebody.
Oh no. Yeah. Um,
Well, that is everything I have for you, Paul. I want to thank you for coming on and taking time out of your day, which hopefully you have the whole rest of the day to enjoy. It's starting to get
yeah.
dark here.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna go for a hike and go enjoy Hawaii.
So, question before we go: Does
Yeah.
does Hawaii do daylight savings, or is that not a thing for y'all? Oh, okay.
No. So we just stay consistent and everybody else changes.
So y'all are just normal. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I bet it is. All right, man. Well, again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Ladies and gents who are listening, thank y'all for listening. As always, please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to have links to everything for Paul's label in the description. So please, by all means, if you like pop punk, emo, ska, go check out his label. Maybe buy some stuff. Maybe send him some money so that he can keep, putting out all this great music that you like to listen to. Um, and everybody stay blessed. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Down South Salvation Podcast. I hope you found our discussion insightful and engaging. If you enjoyed the show, please consider liking this episode and sharing it with your friends and family. It really helps me reach more listeners like you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. You can also follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at DS Salvation and Instagram at Down South Salvation for updates and more. For additional content and to stay updated, find me on YouTube, Substack, and all major podcast platforms at the Down South Salvation Podcast. Your support means the world to me, and I look forward to bringing you more exciting episodes soon. Until next time, stay blessed.